what is the biggest myth that people fall into thinking and that keeps them from creating art? Well, that you have to have talent to be an artist, to make art. That could not be further from the truth. And I hope hearing that gives you so much hope and excitement. This is the one thing I am constantly telling artists inside the Abstracted Artist, which is my private online learning platform, is you do not need to have talent. And in fact, let me go a step further and say, I don't believe in talent. And the reason I don't believe in talent is because I think we can do anything that we put our minds to. We just have to have a few things to complete that equation to make it happen, right? So let me give you an example. We all know singers that, some we think have incredible voices. Some, maybe it's not an incredible voice, but man, they are a super mega star. Well, how did that happen? They're not as talented as, say, someone who, you measure up to as a naturally melodic, a melody in their voice and harmony and all that, right? You know what I mean. It's different for each one of us, but like an Adele, a Whitney Houston, a Celine Dion, all those people that can just have such a range and emotion come through. And then we take other artists whom I'm not going to name because it's not about that, where we in our own heads think, oh, they're not as good as that person, but yet they're like a super mega star. Well, because it really doesn't have anything to do with talent. It is about putting the work in, having that desire to do it first of all, and just staying consistent with it. So if I wanted to be a singer, which I don't, I'd have to want that desire. I'd have to want it first. And then I'd have to be willing to just be consistent. And I'm not talking about like 10 hours a day. I'm talking about, I would use some of my time to learn. I'd work with a coach. I would just have a regular practice that's not overwhelming, but something that I could realistically do. And I just have to build up to it, put my time in, right? And after a certain amount of hours, I would end up having a certain level of proficiency. And there's something that circulates amongst professions, especially in this art industry, is the expression of putting in 10,000 hours to become an expert in something, right? And it may sound daunting, but it's not. If you take like the next few years and you put so many hours a week and then you add those hours up, and it's not overwhelming amount, it's whatever is realistic for you. And you just give yourself that time, how could you not become an expert at that point in time, right? You will naturally get better. You will naturally get really good. You're going to understand certain things that are necessary to make certain types of art. And that's all it is putting that, having that desire. So I say this because each person, each one of you can do this. You can get to that level. You don't have to already have studied art. You don't have to already have a degree or be a professional artist. You can just be regular old you, like I was, regular old me that just wanted to paint. I wanted something beautiful, something that made me feel something in my home or created a vibe, right? So I had that desire. And then I just did something about it. I just said, let me see if I can learn a little something. And I kept it at that fun level. And I just played with it through the years. As I was raising my small kids, I didn't have a lot of time to devote to this. So I hope you're picking up on that. It naturally developed with my consistency. I just stayed consistent. And over time, it all came together. So you do not need to be a professional talented artist. But here's the thing. If you put all that together and you give it time, don't be surprised if a few years down the road someone comes up to you and says, wow, what a beautiful painting that is. Man, you are so talented. And you'll say thank you, of course. That means a lot. I'm glad you like it. But inside, you're going to say to yourself, that's funny. Talent had nothing to do with it. I wanted it. I did something about it, and I stayed consistent. And that's all it is. And you, if you take those 3 things, can become a talented artist if you just stick with it.